This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Back to the social media derby. What you saying, Jonts? You're back from Beijing. How are you feeling?
I've been better. I've either got COVID or some sort of other tonsillitis or whatever. So perfect for a podcast to be losing your voice.
Yeah, it's an inevitable one, isn't it? Loads of people in the summer now going to festivals, travelling, all these events and stuff. We went to Wimbledon as well, obviously. So I think it's going around again. People are not really testing and assuming they're getting a summer cold, but I think a lot of people have COVID probably at the moment. So I hope you get well soon, man. And I'll take over and do the real hosting for today's ep. It's probably not going to be a super long one because we're definitely stuck in the summertime mire when it comes to the footy. There's not a huge amount going on. And we're both teams have kicked off pre-season, so I'll have a quick chat about the friendly between Arsenal and United.
We're not going to talk about you lot getting beaten by Wrexham, though.
No, we won't talk about that. That's United under 23s. Come on, let's be real. Yeah,
now
we played Johnny Evans and
against
the rest of
non-league footballers, mate.
Don't know. No, they're League Two. Put respect.
Now they are, yeah.
Ben Foster.
Before
Ben
that,
Foster,
what were they, mate? Bloody
they've got some legends.
Isthmian Premier League or whatever they call that.
Hey, put some respect on the Vanarama League, all right? They're decent.
TikTok FC, United getting beaten by TikTok FC out here.
It's basically losing to hashtag, isn't it? This is disgraceful. But anyway, yeah, we will go through our other results as well. Obviously, I think Arsenal have played, I think it's 4 games by now. United, I think, have also played 4. So you've got plenty of results to talk about. They obviously don't mean a huge deal. Obviously, we played each other. A lot of it's around fitness and kind of getting that tactical awareness and stuff like that. But we will dig into that. We'll talk about the kits. Obviously, both United and Arsenal have released their home and away kits now. We've got very different views, I think, on our respective kits. But yeah, it's very interesting ones that have gone out recently, especially our away kits. I think we'll have a lot to say about those. And we're obviously first kick off, though, with the latest transfer rumours. So, John, I don't know if you've been paying attention while you've been away, but there are a lot of rumours linking Arsenal with Romeo Lavia and Mohamed Kudus. I think the Lavia one looks like a bit of a straight fight with Liverpool, and they seem to be kind of edging ahead now. But on your side, it seems like it's a bit dependent on whether Thomas Partey leaves or not. First of all, let's get your opinion on that. What do you think about Lavia? Would you take him in replacement for Partey, or do you think he's someone you need to get in addition?
I mean, I would take him as a replacement. Obviously, it wouldn't be an ideal situation though, because I think Partey's obviously a more mature and experienced player than Lavia is at this moment. Obviously, Lavia's got a lot more potential because he's young, and you know he's obviously looks like he's pretty gifted despite being in a pretty shocking team last season. So I think in the short term, it probably put us back a little bit. I don't think he's going to be able to deliver what Partey should be able to deliver next season from the get-go. But I think obviously long term, it probably could work out better. He's younger, looks like he's got more legs in him. He also looks maybe technically a little bit more gifted as well. So I think from that perspective, you know, I saw some rumours earlier today from Fabrizio saying that, you know, Arsenal or Arteta's basically said it's either a big bid or they're not, or we're not selling Partey. So I don't think anyone's going to come in with a big bid for Partey. So I don't see Partey leaving. And I saw like a little interview, Arteta talking about having 30 players and, you know, it's too much and he needs to get rid of some people and here and there. And so from that perspective, I don't see us making the effort required to beat Liverpool out to get him, to get Lavia,
Yeah.
especially if we're going to keep Partey. So I think from that perspective, I'm still happy for us to be in it, drive the price up a little bit more and make Liverpool pay more. I'm fine with that. But do I realistically think we're going to get him? I don't think so. And I don't think Partey will leave either. And I mean, it's already been a pretty busy window, so I don't, from the preseason games, we'll get onto it later, but we haven't been gelling perfectly yet. So I think, if we keep buying and replacing out new players, there's a risk that next season, we're going to need a lot more time to bed everyone in. So I'm not hugely disappointed. I'm already pretty happy with the business we've done. So I wouldn't be too crazily disappointed if we can't get Lavia.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I like Lavia and I understand all the hype around him for sure. I think he looks like a really big prospect and someone that could, really dominate in the Premier League in the future. But I think it would definitely be taking a couple of steps back in terms of your midfield if you got rid of Partey and brought him in. Because, I mean, what does that mean for your kind of left-sided 8 role? Does that mean most likely that means Havertz is going to probably play in that position for the most part, and Rice will drop in the 6th? Because I can't believe you'd sign Lavia to start week in week out. So I actually think Rice in the left-sided 8 is kind of a bit of more of a like for like with Xhaka and definitely an improvement. And keeping Partey there, who for the most part was really good for you, I think as long as his head's in the game and he gets over his injury problems, I think you've obviously got a very good midfielder. So I think it's one of those ones where you'll be going down the Liverpool route and they've completely gutted their midfield. And I think they're going to have their season's either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a shocker because they've changed too much in that midfield and it's not going to gel, or they're going to gel perfectly and, they've got a lot of potential and they do really well. So I think you're probably better off sticking and just letting Lavia move on. It might come back to bite you because he might turn out to be an amazing player, but I think for the current situation your midfield's in, I think it makes sense. What about Kudus? It looks like you're fighting Chelsea for Mohamed Kudus. He did really well in the World Cup, if you remember, for Ghana, and he looks like a really top player. But from the sounds of it, it looks like he would be coming in as kind of a backup to Saka, which I think if you were to get him for that position would be amazing, because I think he, his levels could I think reach quite close to what Saka's been putting out from the looks of it. But you're fighting Chelsea, who seem to have kind of an open spot on that right hand side, or they've got Madueke, but I probably would pick Kudus over him. What do you think about him?
I mean, I'm not super surprised by it because I mean, like when we were talking about before the kind of top 3 signings for our club, I did mention obviously having a right wing option. I think I put Chukwueze instead of Kudus, but Kudus is a good shout too. I thought he was a bit more central. I feel like he, whenever I don't watch him day in day out, but on like Football Manager and FIFA and whatever else, I typically play him through middle. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be aiming for putting him on the right hand side. I think from my perspective, again, I'm not going to be heartbroken if we don't get him. I do think it would be good to have another person to kind of replace or rotate with Saka, just because, I mean, even now in the bloody preseason, he's getting chopped down. We know that's going to happen again in the Premier League when the Premier League starts back up. We know he's going to be playing pretty much every game for us now across the 4 competitions. So it does seem like he needs a backup. But again, I feel like we've got a lot of players now. Like we've got a really big squad, and I think a lot of the squad is decent, like or could do the job. I think whether it's Trossard or Havertz or whoever. I know that obviously right wing's not their natural position, but I feel like we could do a job there. Saka's, touch wood, had a really good kind of injury record recently, so hopefully he won't, get injured. But obviously there's always the chance for that to happen if he's playing game in, every week for the team. So I think it would be good to get him, but again, I'm worried when I hear like Lavia and I hear Kudus. I'm not worried, but I feel like again both of them are not gonna, and they're not being bought to start. And while I think it's great to add depth to our team, I definitely feel like we've found somewhat of a winning formulation, like a winning formula right now, where a player like Kudus, a player like Lavia, for the price tag they're going to come in for, they're going to expect to play a little bit at least, right? They're not going to come in and just be like, yeah, I'm going to sit on the bench all day. So they're going to expect to play a little bit. And I'm that worries me because I feel like Arteta's already going to tinker a bit too much. And we're going to get into a position where we don't really have a bedded in starting 11 that does the job and does it well. And so I think that to me is the issue, because rotation is obviously important, but what you want to really try and do is create basically 2 11s, right? And you want to be able to have, all right, here's my first 11 that I like to play in the Premier League and whatever else. They all know how to play together. They play well, etc., etc. Then you have like a second 11 that maybe plays the cup games. They play like, I don't know, some of the earlier stage or the less important games in the Champions League or whatever else, right? But they all kind of gel together. So you've kind of got like this A and B side. I don't know if we're necessarily going to be able to build that up with the current crop of people that we're buying in, because they're too senior or they're too good or their price tag is going to be too high for them to think, oh, I'm just going to play in like the Carabao Cup, or I'm just going to play in the FA Cup or whatever else. So again, I think it would be good. I'd be happy to have Kudus at the squad, but I do think we're creating somewhat of a future problem, and we're maybe getting a few too many players in if we start getting in Kudus and Lavia as well. And we start creating, maybe some people call it competition, which is good, but at the same time, we might start to unsettle the squad a little bit. And coming off of last season, how well we did with kind of like a starting 11 that didn't really change too much, that worries me. I want us to have, like, it's only been one season. We need to keep figuring out what this 11 looks like, keep improving this 11, add some younger good players in from the back, from the sides to make our kind of depth a bit better. But at the same time, we can't just flood the squad with these like half starting 11, half squad depth players. Yeah, they're all going to be fighting for positions, and he's going to be changing it, chopping and changing it too much. So probably incoherent rambling from me because I am ill, but that's kind of the way I see it. I'm not heartbroken if we don't get either of those players. I obviously would feel a little bit sad if both of those players went to Chelsea and Liverpool, or Liverpool and Chelsea, right? That would be disappointing because I think they're both really good players.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think it can go either way. I probably actually do lean more to the side, though, of getting them, because I think the issue is if you get Lavia in for Partey, I don't see that as the right kind of in and out swap trade. I'd understand if you got rid of Jorginho, let's say, kept Partey, brought in Lavia. I kind of get it, because then Lavia could be the understudy to Partey. He can kind of learn from him while he's still there, and then I think he's got the makeup to turn into the next Partey, or maybe an even better player. But I think as a like for Partey, I don't think that's that would be a real big gamble on his potential, or the fact that he's able to kind of transition into a first team player right away. The Kudus one I think makes more sense, because I actually think, but it makes sense in a way positionally, because I do think he can play out on the right hand side. He drifts in a lot like your kind of wingers do anyway, inverted. So I think he'd be fine. The only issue is you just signed Reece Nelson to a new bumper contract.
Yeah, we got Trossard. We got so many attacking midfielders that could either play wing or could play centrally. Like, if you're going to get Kudus, that's fine, but like we got to shift some people out. Surely we can't keep everybody and just be like, all right, everyone just fight for a position. I feel like that's not the right way to nurture young talent as well, right? Giving competition is great for people in their prime, but when you got these young players like Martinelli, he needs time. You need to give him time and let him develop. Same for Saka, same for everyone else.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think the Martinelli shout makes sense, because I don't feel like he's been overplayed necessarily. I think at the back end of the season, there was obviously a lot of reliance on him, because I think a few of your other players went missing and he was kind of the only one standing up. But I think Saka definitely got overplayed. And I think you do have a worry that he gets burnt out, because he's played almost every game for you. So I think you've either got to utilise your current talent, put Vieira out there, try something else. Maybe he plays better from the right-hand side. He's definitely can't get any worse than he's doing in the centre, because he's, even in pre-season, he's looked shocking. So try him out there. I'm sure he can do that. I know at Porto, at least, he played from the wing as well as central, so he's got the attributes to maybe do it as long as he can get a bit stronger, like we've talked about before. But I hear you. You probably need to concentrate more on getting players out before looking to get more in, because I feel like you've got a lot at your disposal. So, but I mean, I wouldn't be upset if my team got those players. That I think they're good players and they can definitely improve and add a lot to your squad. But let's go on to our main kind of rumours. So we've kind of talked about it before on previous episodes. So it's kind of a bit of the same old, really, where it's just kind of intensified a bit more. So you've got really strong links. We've had a couple of bids, I think, go in for Rasmus Hojlund up front, the Danish striker from Atalanta. He's basically also apparently turned down PSG because he wants to come to United, and he's a boyhood United fan. I know I made a mistake of saying
same old story that you guys say about every player you're linked to. Mason Mount,
we all do it.
Actually, hidden Man United fan. Yeah,
he's a Portsmouth fan. Yeah, I got that one wrong. My bad. Hands up, I got that one wrong. He's a Portsmouth fan. But there are a lot of stuff. There are a lot of noises coming out that anyway he wants to play for United, whether he's a boyhood United fan or not. He's apparently turned down PSG, and he's waiting for United to get the bid kind of over the line with Atalanta. So, personally speaking, it looks like we're not going to be able to flog Tony Marshall, which obviously he's one of my favourite players as much as he's been injury prone. I do think we should try and get rid of him, but it seems like that's not possible at the moment unless a big money Saudi bid comes in from nowhere. So I think we're going down the route of try and get a young striker in to play with him. When he's
have you got the luxury of trying to get rid of strikers though? Like I get Tony Marshall.
No, that's the other thing.
Very unavailable for the most part, but I would get Hojlund in and keep Marshall because he's if you can give him less time, maybe yeah.
I don't think that's what they want to do necessarily. Well, I think Ten Hag really likes Anthony Martial. He said it numerous times. Obviously, you can't really believe what he says because he said he liked Ronaldo, he said he liked De Gea, and he flogged them as soon as he could. So that's,
Danny
he's
Mills,
not always very trustworthy. He's not very trustworthy in the press. But it seems like stylistically, anyway, I understand why people do believe what he says with Martial, because I do think Martial's style lends itself well to the way Ten Hag wants to play. But obviously he's got availability problems. But it looks like we can't flog him, so it's going to be keep Tony Marshall, try and keep him fit, bring in Rasmus Hojlund, young kind of, up-and-coming wonder kid striker, and then see how he develops. I haven't seen too much of him, but what I have seen of him, he looks like someone who'd work well in the system again. He's like kind of a really busy, high-pressing, very energetic, runs off the last shoulder of the defender type striker, and a bit of kind of an instinctive player. How he transfers over to the Premier League, I guess you never really know, and he's only 20 years old, I think. So it's going to be a bit of a gamble, and a big gamble, because looks like it's going to cost around £60 million with add-ons, everything included. So that's a lot to put on a striker, but I mean, there's not many options out there. But what do you think anyway about Hojlund? Have you seen him play?
I have not seen him play, but I know that obviously. He's only got 20 starts? Is it 20 starts in like top 5 division football? So it's a big bet, and obviously in this day and age, especially because of Haaland, you see a big Scandinavian striker because obviously he's 6'3" as well, so he's not a small geezer. You see a big striker like that from Scandinavia, and you're going to get the Haaland tax as well as the Man United tax and every other tax you might think of. So I think it's a big gamble, but I think you've got really no other choice because, given your money situation, given the fact that like Harry Kane's not coming, given the fact that you ain't got enough money for Osherman, given the fact all of these things combined, like who else can you go for? And who are you not going to get ripped off for? Because everyone knows you want a striker, so everyone's going to do the same old story to you. So unless you want to go and do like a Joselu type Real Madrid settings and go and get some random striker that nobody really likes, you may as well go for Hojlund, right? And I think you will get bumped a little bit because they bought him for like 15 million last season or whatever, and now you're paying 60. So, and they want like 80 or something, or they apparently wanted 80 at the beginning. So I think from that perspective, I think you've got really no other choice. You can't go into next season with no striker bought. You need a striker. That's like literally been your major area. You're pretty good defensively, couldn't score anything. So from that point of view, I think you need a striker, and I guess he's the best thing available in the market. I do think he's going to take a couple of years to properly bed into the way that we play in the Premier League. But obviously, I think he's going to, if he comes to you, he's going to nab goals regardless, because you create enough chances. He's big enough. He's got enough of the physical kind of attributes, unless he's like Darwin Núñez, where he just like can't hit a barnyard with a banjo. He's going to score goals. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got like low double figures if he was starting like every game for you guys. You know, if he got 30 starts or whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he got 12, 15 goals. So I think from that perspective, not so bad. And if you keep Anthony Martial, could be a good thing. Maybe he'll learn something from Martial. Maybe Martial will get some time off to, I don't know, fix his legs, fix whatever it is keeps breaking with him. You know, he'll get some time maybe to go off into the mountains with some of Ten Hag's buddies and figure out how to keep fit. So I think, yeah, it's not bad. I do think you're getting ripped off, though. And I want to make one point. You guys are crying about, oh, we ain't got no money. They won't sell the club. If you go and buy him for 60 and then you go and get Amrabat as well, you lot have spent over 100 million this window. So,
oh yeah,
I want
right
that whole you know, agenda's got to stop. Obviously, Arsenal have spent way more, and City have been spending way more for ages. Whatever, you know, Chelsea have spent 600 whatever in the last couple windows, but you lot are still spending. So I think from your perspective, the whole like, oh, we're not going to be able to spend any money this season. You're spending a decent amount. Obviously, not as much as you want to, but you're spending a decent amount.
Yeah, no, I think that what's clear about this, though, is there's either two reasons behind that kind of rhetoric going out, you know, at the end of last season, where we, you know, would have to sell to buy, or we only had 100 million or whatever. I think one of the reasons is to try and kind of get ahead of the kind of hype around Man U being terrible with negotiations and getting kind of, you know, quoted mad prices for all the players by trying to put that out there early. I think a lot of people haven't really believed it because we've obviously still been speaking to them, still trying to buy players. So that kind of negates that kind of that messaging going out there. But the other thing to remember is we're definitely letting go of loads of players. So it might be the case of we're going to buy a bunch and then that's preemptively doing that because we're about to sell McTominay. We might sell Maguire. We've sold Elanga. We might sell Henderson. We've sold Tellez. We're going to sell Bailly. Like Phil Jones just left. De Gea just left. There's going to be a big clear out at the same time. It just might be the order of those things goes the other way around. Like we might buy the players first and then because we know.
Yeah, but you guys wanted to get rid of all of those players anyway, though. It's not like you're having to give up players that you really want.
No, I know.
You knew you were going to be able to give up those players. You knew you wanted to. So why are we crying about having or not having money? You knew.
No, in years gone by, we've just bought players and stockpiled the crappy ones that we haven't been able to get rid of or haven't want to get rid of because of the way the the Glazonomics and everything that people talk about, all those players being assets on the balance sheet. The point is, this season, I actually do think we need to sell a bunch of those players. It is the fact we want to, for sure. I don't disagree with you. I think Ten Hag has said we don't want those players. We don't need them. Get rid of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are deadwood anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's actually the two things have come together. We need to get rid of them because I don't think we could continually spend as recklessly as we did last season, for example. We overspent for sure on Casemiro, Antony, even Martinez. Basically everyone we bought last season, apart from Malacia, was an overspend, right? Everyone was joking even about how we overspent, right? Yeah. Well, 12 million. I mean, that's peanuts.
Based off of what he's looked like, yeah.
All right, let's not go down the Lippy Maleficent angle. He's decent. He's defensively way better than Zinchenko, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
The whole point is
keep smoking.
Attacking, no chance. Attacking, no chance. He's way better, but defensively, it's easy to be better than him. But I do think we have had to sell players, and we have wanted to. So it's like if those things have married together. But I do think if obviously we'd been taken over, I think we would have gone for maybe players who. Harry Kane, for example, and just whatever Spurs had said, we would have dropped it on him and probably got him because, let's be real,
Yeah,
that
you
was
would have
clearly
done.
the number one target, wasn't it? At the beginning of the season, that was the first player that the
Yeah,
rumors came out about. Couldn't get him, moved on to Mount and did other things. So I think you wouldn't have seen such a reliance on selling players if we were taken over. I think the fact is we are going to have to sell players now off the back.
but I mean,
Like I said, it may just be the orders gone the other way around. We've bought Amrabat, bought Hojlund first, then now we're going to have to sell McTominay, try and push Maguire out, try and sell a bunch of other players that we want to sell for sure, but it's not only a want. We actually need to sell them so that we don't have a problem with FFP.
yeah,
So
but again,
let's just see.
you're not like losing anything that you want. Like Maguire,
No,
you'd
of
be
course.
happy to get anything for him, and I think
Yeah.
it's good business
Well,
to be
no,
getting rid of
I
players. It's good
but
good business to be getting rid of Deadwood and replacing them with good players. Like that we talk about with Arteta, right? Like the situation he came into and he had to get rid of like all Deadwood players that he didn't want and replace them with the players that he did want, right? Ten Hag obviously doesn't want to keep players in his squad that he knows aren't his type of players that are going to be playing in his system. So the best thing you can try to do is get a bit of money for them. That's just good sense. And for FFP, you have to kind of do those kinds of things anyway if you want to
yeah.
spend how Man United typically have spent and probably will end up spending this season too.
The difference is in years, like I said, years gone by, we haven't done that. We haven't had to. We haven't. It seems like the club haven't wanted to, or we haven't been able to. Or any of those three things probably all maybe are true, but at least some of them are true. Now this season, I think they have to sell as well as they want to, as well as these other things. I think the pressure is mounted because we've been spending so recklessly and over the last 10 years wasted
Yeah.
tons of money on players. This period was always going to come if we didn't get taken over. That's the whole reason why I think the Glazers want to go is essentially because they don't have the money to keep doing this.
Yeah. So now you're
And
just
they have to do
doing
it.
smart business versus what you were
No,
doing
we have
before.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
But it won't necessarily be smart, I'll say, because the fans might want to get rid of McTominay and Maguire for any price or for a reasonable price. But I'm seeing things out there saying that they want 40 million for Maguire, they want 40 million for McTominay. And don't get me wrong, West Ham are idiots with 100 million, 105 million or whatever in their bank account, but I don't think they'll agree to that. So they're going to have to see the light and compromise. Otherwise, we may not sell those players. And we're going to have more egg on our face and potentially have more financial. We're just kicking the can down. Next season, we'll have to do what we're supposed to do this season. It will just keep going on. Or we may not be able to get Amrabat or Hojlund in the end if we don't do that. I don't know. But either way, I think Amrabat, just to quickly touch on him, because I agree with everything you said on Hojlund. I think it's going to be Marshall and Hojlund. And I'm not mad at that. And I think Hojlund might end up being a good player, might suit this league more than he does Italy, because Italy is traditionally quite a hard league to score goals in, very tactical, very slow. It seems like his attributes might, yeah, well, exactly. And we'll not talk about him because he's completely ballsed up his future. If you've seen
Send
what
him to
Lautaro
Saudi,
and
man.
Inter Milan,
Send
what
him
an
to
idiot.
Saudi ASAP, Rocket.
Honestly, the most egotistical football player I've seen, like Rory Jennings and a bunch of people online who I normally don't agree anything with, but I do agree that he's the most egotistical footballer in modern times. The moves he's made, shocking. But anyway, let's not get into that because I'll be ranting. Amrabat, I like Amrabat. I think he's a good player. I think he'd be a good player to bring in and be able to rotate with Casemiro. I think he's kind of, people are looking at him as a bit of a, like we've talked about it even before, but people focusing on his like physical attributes, but he's actually a good passer.
Fellaini
And
2.0.
looking at his stats, oh yeah, all right, here we go. He's got no hair, mate. How can he be Fellaini? He's the opposite. He's bald as hell.
He's got it all down
But
here, that's why.
the one on his chin. What a beard. Beautiful man. But he's apparently he's also played for Ten Hag at Utrecht. So there's still this thread of Ten Hag going back for players that have played for him before and players that he trusts. But I think it would be a good signing. Apparently Liverpool are in for him. So that will just make it even sweeter if he gives them the middle fingers. And
They're basically just in for every midfielder alive, basically. Then,
well, they've sold all of theirs. And they've sold every single one of their midfielders. Like I know people and Kemmel and like our friend, your good mate from school, said that they want to regenerate the midfield, but I didn't think they wanted to get rid of everyone. I thought they would keep a few, but they've gone mad. But anyway, apparently Amrabat wants to sign for United, apparently or Barcelona or some other clubs in Spain. But we're his choice if it comes to England. So let's just see if we can get that money up and get the deal across the line. I'd be happy with him. I think he's going to rotate with Casemiro and Eriksen and Mount in midfield. I think he'd be a decent option. Obviously, if he's played for Ten Hag before, he understands somewhat the style. I think he'd do well in the Prem. I think his attributes would lend well to playing in the Prem. I've seen him go up against Declan Rice and other players in the Europa Conference League, and he looked okay. It looked like he could handle that kind of physical battle. So I think he'd be a good signing for us. But yeah, if we can get him above the Scousers, wow, I love him. What do you think on him, real quick? Because I know we talked about him before we move on.
He's all right. Yeah, no, I think I like that you're trying to build like a somewhat dynamic team. So like I'm sick of like the Pep influence on football where everyone just buys like the same kinds of players and tries to mimic the same kind of thing if you're like a top club. I like the idea of trying to create like a more dynamic midfield and creating a midfield that has a bit more physicality and strength to them. And I think you need that these days to really compete with the Cities and the Liverpools and whoever else. You need units. You need people that are physically strong, but also like good stamina, can chase down balls all day. And I think he kind of ticks all those boxes. Technically, obviously, I haven't watched him that much, but I know he's not going to be like Xavi, Iniesta on the ball, but I don't think you necessarily need that. I think you've got already some really good ball playing midfielders. I think it can't hurt if you're going to get rid of McTominay and replace him with Amrabat. Not bad. It'd be interesting to see what the fee might be, though. Just knowing United, you might get ripped off, but I don't think he's got a super big price tag, does he?
No, they're saying about 25 to 30 million all in. So
it's a good deal. How old is he?
25, something like that.
Not bad.
So he's a perfect age as well. I mean, the stars are aligning with him. I hope I don't have egg on my face because it seems like he's not an expensive deal, comparatively speaking. He's in the prime of his kind of career. He's played for Ten Hag before. He's obviously had a great World Cup for Morocco. He's done well for Fiorentina, obviously got to Conference League final. He's deceptively actually good on the ball. So this is the thing. I saw a lot of his stats last season and his like forward passes, he was top of Serie A for his like the number of passes and the accuracy. So he's obviously like quite an incisive player. I think he's actually probably quite similar to Casemiro, where I think a lot of people focused on his like physical attributes, and then he quite surprised us last season where he actually had forward passes, man. He's not Xavi, he's not Iniesta, but he's got that. He's got something as part of his game to play the ball forward.
I feel like we can always find a stat though to support that. But yeah, no, I obviously it's easy to just look at a player and kind of pigeonhole him and be like, oh yeah, he's going to be the big physical idiot in the middle of the park that can't play the ball. But yeah, no, if he's got something on the technical side of the game as well, then obviously that even better, because nowadays you need to be pretty versatile to survive in a big team like that, especially if you're going after trophies and trying to go up against Pep and Rodri and whoever else. So I like it. I think it's good business if you can get it over the line. And again, I guarantee we'll be talking about it in 8 weeks' time. The season will have started and we will still be talking about Amrabat and Hojlund, because no one apparently these days can get a bloody deal over the line. I think he's a good buy.
If you're saying that, don't look at us. Yeah. Don't look at us, because we're the worst ones to long it out. I mean, you're right. Really, there is a realistic chance this doesn't get solved by the time we play. Who's our first match? I think we're playing Wolves or something in the first match. Whoever we play in the first game, there's a high chance we just get Hojlund and Amrabat like the day before or a few days before, and they're not fit to start, or it's dragged on into the end of August. But yeah, let's see how it goes, man. I hope we get both those signings. I think they're more critical to us than the two that we talked about for the Arsenal side. I think you guys will still be good if you don't get Kudus and Lavia in with your current 11. Let's talk about the game then. So the actual social media derby happened in pre-season. Arsenal versus United. I did see a bunch of like previews across all the fan channels and all that. A lot of gas coming out of AFTV as usual. And you fell flat on your booty, because I don't want to say the A word to prevent you putting extra work in with the editing. But yeah, Arsenal 0, United 2, and for some reason we also did a penalty shootout at the end of it. We beat you in that as well.
I hate football in America.
2 times we beat you. 2 times we beat you in the same game.
Or watching any football played in America.
Beautiful.
ruin
love
it.
you
I'm surprised that
Americans watching.
they didn't have the bloody mascots taking some of the penalties, mate. I don't know what's going on there. But
Do you remember those old penalties that they did in the MLS where they actually had
it
to
was
run
running.
and then
Yeah,
shoot?
I remember seeing Jesse Marsh when they were doing some preview for Leeds or whatever, and seeing him previously doing that, and I was thinking, how have they taken such a beautiful sport and ruined it so badly?
Love them.
But no, I mean, like,
what's
yeah,
your take on the game? Did you see it?
No, I didn't watch it. Haven't watched the highlights, but I don't really want to at this point in time, right? So it's like I've heard it was not a great performance from us. We haven't. Again, there was no gelling between any of the players. It looked like Havertz was. Yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about it. So let's move on to Wrexham United.
We're gonna keep talking about it.
We're shocking. Apparently, I heard that you guys wanted it more. Leacher was doing his typical same old tactics of hacking everyone down. I wouldn't be surprised next season if he breaks someone's legs. I can't wait to see him break someone's legs and then get banned for 8 games. Because he's a dirty geezer, isn't he? And it with his skunky looking hair. But yeah, no, I think generally speaking, it's shocking. You should savor it for as long as you can, because when the season comes, it won't happen again. These are the kinds of matches that you guys care about, right? The Carabao Cup type level types of matches that no one really cares about. You know, it's like when I saw bloody Tottenham lifting the Tiger Cup. This is your Tiger Cup, mate. This is your Premier League, Champions League treble right now, is beating Arsenal in the bloody preseason.
What was that preseason cup we won last year? Was the Thailand Kings what was it? Whatever that preseason cup was that we won last season when we battered Liverpool, and they actually gave us a cup. I remember seeing all the banter after we won the Carabao Cup, and everyone was saying we're on for the treble, and they included pictures of that trophy, because we definitely do get gassed about it.
You're smashing all of the Southeast Asian cups, mate. You're getting Carabaos and you're getting the Tiger Cups.
Yeah, give me that Singer Cup right now. Yeah, Chang
Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Jokes. No, but I did watch the highlights. I didn't stay up for it because it was at like 3 a.m. in the morning or something. But yeah, man, it looked like you guys just weren't up for it, and you thought it was going to be like a bit of a, the usual kind of easy, tame, friendly game, and we just weren't on it. And yeah, Leacher was putting in tackles, took out I think Saka a few times, and he wasn't having it, wasn't enjoying that kind of battle in preseason, which I get. But he's obviously that type of S-House type player that he's going to keep playing the same way in preseason. It is what it is. It's why we love him. Kobe Mainu looked really good, though, to be honest. The youngster we had in DM, he apparently really shone, and everyone was saying
he's injured, mate.
Yeah, Mainu fried rice because he done Decky over. But yeah, no. To be honest, the game was kind of decided by errors. I don't think we played amazingly well from what I've seen. It just looked like we were kind of putting a shift in, worked harder, took it a lot more seriously. But really, it was errors from Ramsdale, errors from Gabriel. Those bozo genes that those two players have a little bit in them came out in pre-season, and that really decided it. And Gabriel Martinelli had a couple of chances. Tom Heaton, who was in goal, obviously Onana didn't make it in time to play. Just made some routine saves, really, and it wasn't really a fantastic game to watch. I think, obviously, if you're not a United fan, you probably enjoyed, like I enjoyed, just us sticking it to you guys and beating you after all the gas I saw on the fan channels. But it means nothing, does it? Like, we're going to play, I think, is it in September or something, and like the 5th or 6th game of the league. Let's see how that goes at the Emirates. That's going to mean a lot more. But yeah, obviously we've had other matches since. We obviously lost to Wrexham afterwards with our under 23s. Didn't look like a great game. Looked like we got completely bossed physically by them. And none of our under 23s really shone out. I think Hannibal played, didn't really look amazing. Johnny Evans, obviously, who signed the short-term deal, played. But yeah, that was a bit of a nothing match. And then obviously yesterday, last night, we lost to Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham.
Onana getting packed in, mate. Love to see it. Nice little chip, and then he's letting in overhead kicks, mate. Go on.
I mean, to be fair,
what's my name? Come on.
I'm gonna be sour about that. Bellingham was miles offside. Obviously, the linesman doesn't give it S in preseason, but it should have never stood. But whatever. I'm not gonna care. They apparently we didn't play that well. Mainu got injured early in the match. Apparently we couldn't hold the ball for more than like a few passes, so it was a game where nothing was kind of gelling, kind of like you guys had against us, where it just didn't work. Apparently Real Madrid didn't even look that great either. It was kind of just typical preseason game, I guess. And we had the shoes on.
What is going on with preseason that we're playing against like the best teams in the world? Like, take it easy in preseason and get some wins for confidence, man. Why are we playing Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid in the preseason? Like, just settle down. Give me bloody, old boys, new old boys, or some random teams. Give me Inter Miami, like even with Messi there. Give me someone rubbish so that we can pack them in, get the confidence, the morale up, and let's move on.
You played the MLS All Stars. You battered them, so you have had some rubbish.
Yeah, but it should all of them should be easy games, right? Like you guys should be playing Wrexham week in week out preseason. You shouldn't be playing Real Madrid with bloody Jude Bellingham smacking you guys up. Like that's not the way to build confidence out here. I don't think, especially after what we've just had with such a long season with a World Cup in the middle of it. Like, give them a bloody break, would you?
Commercial though, it's all about the dollars, isn't it? They've got that International Champions Cup or whatever rubbish they say in pre-season where they get players, they get teams, all the big teams to kind of join up and play each other either in America. I think City and Liverpool are playing out in Japan and Asia at the same time. So it's all a money grab, isn't it? But just to give those fans kind of a glimpse of the good teams, really, I think. But I agree with you. I'm old school as well. When I play FM, I throw in some rubbish teams.
Yeah, morale.
I only play one or two good teams right at the end just to kind of build up the fitness, but I'm not playing, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Dortmund or whatever our schedule is, and yours is United, Barca, Bayern or something like that. Like it's a lot, man. I mean, it's fun for those fans, don't get me wrong. I hear why they're doing it in some respects because, you want those foreign fans to get to see the good teams, but yeah, it opens the door up for a lot of banter for matches that don't really matter, but yeah. Anyway, I won't dig the knife in too deep on you for too long because it is just pre-season. But yeah, take that, son. Let's move on to the next topic of the pod is our kits have been released, man. So we both have the home kits for our respective teams. So we'll start with them. Who do you think wins in an Arsenal versus Man U home kit battle?
It's interesting because we're both Adidas as well, so I'm going to say us because ours is a little bit more out there than yours. But no, just listen to me. Your kit, you never really, especially with your home kit, you very rarely take any chances. You don't do anything special, really, right? Like, what, this year it's just like, a black circle or black square around the outside of it? Am I getting that right?
No, you're wrong.
Which one am I? Let me pull it up.
We've got like the Manchester, the Lancashire rose print kind of on shadow print on the red, and then it's got heavier black tones than usual because normally it's kind of a bit of white and black, and it's not so red and black direct. So
it's got the black collar. That's it. Sorry, it was a couple of seasons back or whenever you had the black part around the outside, or last season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think you're not taking any chances with it. Right, like it's the same old kit. Like I could look at the last 10 of your home kits, and they look basically exactly the same. So I'm putting Arsenal up there because we got the lightning bolts, and we got like the gold on there, and it looks a bit more interesting. There's a bit more to it. So I'm going Arsenal 100% for the home kit, and the main reason I say that is just because of our away kit being so shockingly bad. So we've got to win something, and it's the home kit we've won, and the away kit we've. I don't know. We might be bottom of the world with that bloody away kit.
No, we're gonna have to agree to disagree and put this to the audience because I it's the first home kit I've liked that United have put out for a while. I have to be honest. The majority of the home kits we put out, you're right. They're either too safe and kind of boring, or when we do have an attempt to try and make it a bit different, at least since we've been with Adidas, it's not been good. Do you not remember the bus print? Red home kit that we had that year. That was shocking, and we've had some absolute stinkers for home kits, or at least really boring ones. And I feel like as home kits go, you guys have had some beauties, and I don't think this one is one of the beauties. So I'm going to go United. And also, it just stinks to have gold on there.
What are you talking about having gold on there? You lot stick gold on your kits left, right, and centre all the time. Why can't we put gold on our kits? You've put like gold accents on your kits before. When you had the AIG one with Vidic there, you had little gold accents here.
We were a gold team.
You don't shut up, mate. Look at you now. So right now, your whole kit should just be dark brown. You should just have a dark brown home kit, a dark brown away kit, and a dark brown third kit because you stink. So for us to put a little bit of gold on there every now and then, you don't remember when we had like the burgundy one with the gold O2 sign on there? We've always had some.
Good team.
We've had gold. What are you talking about? We were ahead of you last season. What are you talking at? You're talking at your
yeah,
crack,
but
mate.
I mean, like you
tie him upside down and put him in some water, and he'll still be able to breathe, mate. He's breathing out of his butthole right now, mate. I don't know what he's talking about.
Shout out Goldbridge for that quote.
Exactly.
But no. I stand strong on that. Should not have gold on your kit.
You're just happy because the rest of your kits have stank. Your home kits have been absolutely stinky for 10 years, and now you finally got one that is mid and not stinky. And now you think the world has changed. You guys, it stinks, mate. There's nothing about it. It's the most boring kit I've seen in my life. May as well be Norway's kit.
Where's the blue? You don't even know the colours that Norway play in.
They play in a red home kit, do they not?
Red with navy blue.
It's close enough. Navy blue and black, they're basically the same colour.
I'm the colourblind one. Come on, mate. You can't be this stupid. But anyway, I'm going United. We all agree to disagree on that. But yeah, let's go to the away kits then, because that's funny. I thought we weren't going to really argue about the home kits. I thought the away kits was going to be the argument.
No, the away kits are not the argument because our away kit is objectively hideous. Your away kit, in my mind, goes either way. It's not the most beautiful kit I've seen. It's not the most hideous kit I've ever seen. When I first saw the leaked pictures for it, I thought the dark green was black, which I think would have made it better. I still think even with the dark green, it looks all right. Our kit, though, there's no saving grace to that kit. It's a Stabilo highlighter. From flipping year 10, mate. It belongs in someone's pencil case with some snakes wrapped around it or whatever that is. It's shocking. It's shocking. Swap it with the goalkeeping kit for our home kit, the all black like Ramsdale.
Oh, yeah,
stick that as our away kit and I'll be happy. And you can put the highlighter back as a goalkeeper kit because that's where the highlighter kits are typically, isn't it? He looks like he should be on the motorway putting flipping cones out. What are we talking about?
It definitely looks like a high-vis. It looks like a high-vis. No, I agree with you. I think the best kit that you've released so far is 100% the home goalkeeping kit. That's a beautiful kit. Obviously, I used to be a goalie, so I'd lean towards getting a goalie kit anyway, but most people generally don't, do they? But I think that's definitely your best kit that you've got. I think your away kit, I agree with you. I think it absolutely stinks. It might be the worst kit that Adidas have ever made for you guys, and they clearly love you the most of all of their manufacturing kits, right?
As
They've
they
given you
should.
some beauties. Yeah, don't know why. You're not even German. Don't know what's going on. They should love buying at least more. What's going on here?
Krunky sounds a bit German. There you go,
maybe he is. Yeah, maybe his grandma's been a founding member of the Adidas clan or whatever. But yeah, you always go to their HQ and wherever it is, bloody Frankfurt or whatever, and they get Havertz riding around on bloody little tuk-tuks and all this kind of rubbish, and they do all their stuff with you guys. But yeah, they've screwed you over on this one. This one is a real, that's a real stinker.
It looks like a City kit. Didn't City have a highlighter kit from a couple of seasons ago that was also really stinky?
City
I just
generally
don't know.
have some bad ones, yeah.
I just don't know why everyone keeps going for the luminous colours. Just leave it out. That's a referee colour. That's a bloody referee colour. Stick them in the highlighter colours and give us just some normal colours. I don't know why teams and brands keep doing it. It looks terrible. I've not seen one highlighter kit that looked good.
Yeah, I mean, but true, the luminous style, I don't think there's been many that have been good in history. But I think the yellow, you've had some beauties in yellow. Your yellow and blue kits have been a real historically, buff kits, to be honest. But yeah, they've had a stinker with this one. I will say though, the kind of whatever they call it, the player or authentic kit, the one that's more expensive, does look a bit better than the stadium whatever one, the cheaper one. It actually when you look a bit closer at it, it doesn't look that terrible from that element, but it's still, the design is not good. And I think that's a -4 out of 5.
The problem with the
stinky
performance, like the player kit, though, is you have to be a Greek Adonis to look good in it. Because I bought
kit.
that one before by accident. And I was like, what is going on here? It's got zero structure. It's about thinner than a piece of paper. And it just brings out all your rolls. So for me, I'm just like, I don't want that. So the normal 80 quid version, which is absolute bump, by the way, that the fact that football shirts cost 80 quid these days. But yeah, no, I don't understand why we've gone for that. And it doesn't console me that the player version looks better than the normal version, because the player version is going to look hideous on Dave, who's going down the pub and drinking 20 pints and watching Arsenal. So it's
Dave?
It's a massive L. Your away kit, I think. What do you reckon of your away kit? I quite like it.
Yeah, I think you're in the minority, mate, because I actually think our away kit is not a million miles away from competing with yours in terms of stinky kits. And I don't mean stanky, because that's a real difference in this case. Stanky would be, our away kit from last season. What was that again? I'm trying to remember what our away kit was. Oh yeah, the white one. I like that one. That's class. I actually bought that one. I thought that was really nice. The other one I think was a bit dodgy, our third kit. But yeah, this season our away kit, do you remember that chopped and screwed one they did with the zebra style one that they got didn't they get like Harry Pinero, Dutchavelli and a bunch of people to do the ad for? That one was a shocker, but it was so outrageous that I think some people quite liked it. Whereas I think this one, the design is not even like your one. I understand a lot of people are going to be like shock and awe, stinks, not really like it, but there probably are some people out there that do like it. There's got to be, because it's quite an extreme design. Whereas I think the one that we've gone for is kind of like a safe crap kit, like pinstripe, just some basic lines, but it just doesn't make sense. And again, the player performance kit actually looks okay when you look at the details of it. And the regular 80 quid kit or whatever it is, like the team viewer bit is like kind of like a what do you call it, like a steam on print, and not actually embedded into the kit, and it looks like we could create a better kit than that, or like a
Pro Evo 5 back
that.
in the day when they wouldn't give you the kits. Yeah. I bloody did make better kits than that. So
exactly.
I think it's all right though.
I'm not a fan.
To me though, have you ever done a kit of this kind before? Because typically for home and away kits, you draw inspiration from previous home and away kits, right? Like with Arsenal, this yellow one, I think the first time we started it was an Adidas kit. I think you got it for my birthday one time. It was a couple of seasons back, maybe 3-4 seasons back. It was Adidas one. We had like a highlighter kind of color as well back then with some blue lines on it. That one wasn't so extreme because it didn't have the snake wrap around it or whatever else it was. But I can see where we've maybe tried to copy that again or do something similar to that. But for you lot, I don't know if I've never seen a Man United kit this color, this style. So maybe it's just that you aren't used to it. Because I thought you guys were going to come out with a blue kit. Because you've had that obviously that retro kit came out recently that was beautiful. You've previously had, like back in the Van Nistelrooy days, you've had blue away kits or blue third kits or whatever else it was. But to me, it just seems really out of the blue in terms of the color. But I do like the design. I do quite like the weird pinstripey bits. I just don't think the color matches what you guys are about.
Yeah, I think there's two issues for me. I don't like the color. I agree with you. It kind of looks like this weird, like granite slate type, greeny, grayish, dark grayish, not quite black thing. But I also just don't like the execution of the pinstripes. Like, I think the idea of it, that could look all right. I've seen pinstripe kits come out and look decent, but I think they've screwed it. And it doesn't look great. And I think they could have done, I honestly believe we could have designed better kits for both of our teams, away kits at least. They're shockers. And normally, you might not, I don't know if you'll agree, but like, normally the third kit is the one that they go a little bit experimental and a little bit weird on. And then people go, oh, all right,
yeah,
you're not going to use it that much. It's whatever. And normally the away kit is just like, the buffest kit normally, or like one that's not so out there and more. And
it typically draws on previous kits you have had, right?
Doesn't look like it, man. Not for us this season. And it looks actually, because I've seen leaks of our third kit, which is a white,
Your
again, a
third kit
white
looks
kit with like
beautiful.
red accents, and
Yeah,
they've
it's 'cause it's like
changed
a
the
creamy
badge.
white. It's like a creamy
Yeah,
white,
they've
right? Yeah,
changed.
I like it.
They've changed the badge from the traditional badge to like the devil. Like you guys have that kit with the
Yeah,
cannon
it
rather
looks
than
like
the
the
proper.
Netherlands logo. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not mad at that one. But yeah, this second
I'd
kit, I
swap them
think
round.
we've had a stinker.
I
Yeah,
feel
me
like you
too.
should just swap them around.
Normally,
Swap your third and your second kit around, and then it's all right. But to have your
yeah,
current
normally they
away
would do
kit
that.
as an away kit does it might not be the
Yeah,
smartest decision. Yeah,
I think if we're to go up against each other, it's it's who's the worst. I mean, who's the least worst, honestly. And I
yeah.
think we might slightly be less worse than you, but it's not. It's probably closer than you're kind of giving credit to right now. But yeah.
Well, my
So
big thing
United
is
win
like
2-0
I'm not wearing
again.
it. Nah. We win the home kit clearly. It's bins. Don't even try it. We got lightning bolts on it. You ain't got nothing. So shut it.
2-0 to United again.
The away kit though, like particularly on the away kit, I would never wear that. I'm not wearing that kit. Like your one, if I wore that and walked down the street, I wouldn't be like. Obviously, I'd feel terrible because I hate you guys. But if I was a Man United fan, I'd be like, oh, this doesn't look too outlandish, crazy. But our one, I'm not walking down the street wearing that unless I know I'm going to an Arsenal game. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I say that, because that clashes with everything. Like, what colours in your wardrobe have you got that can go with that bloody highlighter kit? Nothing. So that's why to me it's just like you're trying too hard, you're trying to do the shock and awe stuff, and that's not what people use kits for these days. A lot of people just wear kits on a normal day with a pair of jeans or whatever else, a pair of cargos, and that hideous away kit of ours is not really allowing that. And I think we saw last season with like Ajax and some of that stuff, your kit's actually pretty important outside of just the football. Like you can actually not just gain fans, but you can gain awareness and a lot of like PR and press through the kits that you make. And I think that away kit stinks, and they're not going to get any
You
press
just
that is positive.
Yeah, and I mean, you just get sales, don't you? Like we've got an extensive collection of kits. Like I've got loads of kits, and obviously we've got like favorite teams abroad and stuff like that. But also some of those things are kind of led by what we think is a buff kit from an overseas team. And yeah, the point you bring up, Ajax have had some class kits. I can't remember a stinky kit they've had like in years. Like nearly every single kit they've released has been beautiful or been amazing collab with
Yeah.
with another brand
Same with
or
Juve
they've
as
just
well.
got
I
yeah,
hate them
Juve
as a
do it too.
team. I hate them as a team. But I like their kits. I've worn that pink one from ages ago. You know, I like their kits. And that's
Yeah.
I think where maybe kits can be pretty important for that reason, right? Like
Yeah.
you know Drake out here just wearing every football kit he can that looks decent. So give us something to work with here.
Yeah, no. I think I agree with your general point though. I think our home kits are decent. They're definitely rockable with just casually outside of football. Our away kits are 100% a no-no. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable wearing either one of those. Let's see what the third kits are saying. I can't really say I've seen too many leaks of yours, but you're probably right. It's probably going to be the third kits are going to be a bit more
I think it's
modest, and they've
dark
just
blue.
switched them around this year. Yeah. All
If I
right,
remember correctly, it might be
that
a
could be all
dark
right.
blue one, yeah.
I'm not mad at a navy kind of dark blue kit. That could look all right on you guys. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I think we'll leave the pod episode this week there. Thanks a lot, Johns. I know you're feeling like a dog's backside, and this has been a hard one to record. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, bro. Good to see you after 10 days, a couple of weeks away. For everyone listening, if you're listening on one of the audio only platforms, please don't forget to follow the podcast. Leave a 5-star review. If you're listening on Spotify, we could really use some more engagement. That would be really, really helpful. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Again, same applies there. It'd be great to get more people listening in and tuning in and sharing your takes on some of the things we've talked about. Do you think it was just a friendly? Are you going to be counting the 2-0 friendly cup as one of our first trophies this year? Obviously, do you think it's 2-0 United? I do in the kits, but let us know because I might be
Shocking.
waffling. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot, John. Take care, bro.
Cheers, Ant.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.